The Blue Ridge Parkway is a scenic road located in the Appalachian mountain range. It spans 469 miles from Cherokee, North Carolina, through Virginia, where it connects to the Skyline Drive. The Blue Ridge Parkway's purpose is purely recreational, intended for drivers to relax and enjoy the view as they cruise along. It includes numerous points of interest, including elevations over 6,000 feet, cities such as Roanoke, Virginia, and Asheville, North Carolina, the Biltmore Estate, access to Mount Mitchell, the highest mountain peak on this side of the country, and also has 168 bridges, 6 viaducts, and 26 tunnels. Construction of the Blue Ridge Parkway was a result of the New Deal in an attempt to both raise national pride and provide jobs for the historically poverty-stricken mountain residents. Construction started at each end of the parkway, and they worked inward to meet at the middle. World War II slowed down construction of the Blue Ridge Parkway, as materials needed to finish the road were required for ammunition, guns, and artillery for the war. By the late 1960s, all but the 7.7-mile missing link at Grandfather Mountain was complete and open to the public. The mountain's owner, Hugh Morton, was recently returned from World War II and lived as a conservationist on the mountain. It was then that he opened up the mile-high swinging bridge and the park. The Blue Ridge Parkway winds calmly along the side of the nearly 6,000-foot mountain. It is one of the oldest mountains in the world and offers various species of plant and animal life that live nowhere else on Earth. Some of the highest recorded winds are measured over the top of Grandfather Mountain. These records stand at 120 miles an hour for the record wind speed and negative 103 degrees Fahrenheit for the record wind chill. Atop Grandfather Mountain are the mile-high swinging bridge and the Grandfather Mountain Park, which includes black bear, otters, cougars, bald eagles, and white-tailed deer. By the early 1930s, surveyors and conservationists together scoured the hills for a path that would make the parkway seem as if it were casually winding through the hills instead of standing out as an eyesore. Construction began in 1935, providing jobs for many of the workers in the area who no longer had jobs due to the decline of the coal industry. Despite these job opportunities, some residents were forced to leave the area in order to make room for the parkway to build on their land. In doing so, the government paid them much less than what their land was worth, especially considering they had lived on it for generations. The last piece of the Blue Ridge Parkway puzzle was the Linn Cove Viaduct, a bridge that wound around the southern side of Grandfather Mountain. A viaduct is simply a bridge over land, and construction of this viaduct was highly controversial. The National Park Service originally wanted to build the Blue Ridge Parkway over the top of Grandfather Mountain, as well as a tunnel through the portion of it. Hugh Morton refused, claiming that doing so would be like taking a switchblade to the Mona Lisa. Instead, he suggested that they turn Highway 221 at the bottom of the mountain into the parkway. This stalemate between Hugh Morton and his team of conservationists and the National Park Service continued for 13 years in court before they finally decided on a compromise route in the middle. Here you can see the various proposals for the Blue Ridge Parkway around the mountain. From here, the National Park Service was faced with the problem in routing the highway around the mountain safely. As you can see, Linn Cove is a steep, fragile boulder field on the south side of the mountain. In order to build a roadway that wouldn't damage one of the world's oldest mountains, they decided to build the Linn Cove Viaduct from the top down. Traditional methods would have caused rock slides in the area. Utilizing highly sophisticated and never-before-used techniques, the Linn Cove Viaduct was finally finished, completing the Blue Ridge Parkway puzzle and doing so with almost zero environmental damage. After 52 years of construction and legal battles, the Blue Ridge Parkway was finally finished and opened from beginning to end in 1987. A scenic roadway, the first of its kind in America, is today still the most visited, attraction in the entire country. The parkway offers 4 seasons of views and recreational activities, and continues to wow its visitors with views, wildlife, and culture to this day. The Blue Ridge Parkway often suffers from road closures in the winter due to roads at high elevations with large amounts of precipitation. Earlier this year, the Blue Ridge Parkway was honored to be added to the collection of America the Beautiful quarters, further proving its claim to fame as America's favorite roadway.
Dry dunes cater for jumping boys. From the nape of her neck, he made his descent. They watched men hurl from rock to sea, like sternum to bottom, line lip inches in between.